Well, hello everybody. You're here today with Lisa Nickel and Julie Hugston. And today we're going to talk a little bit about patent and latent defects.
If you don't know what that is, we're going to explain it to you.
Yes, so basically patent defect is something that you can see in a home. So patent defects are things like maybe you have a crack in the foundation that you can visibly see, or
Things like broken windows,
stained roof,
right?
Stained ceilings. Things that you can physically see are patent.
Damaged flooring, anything that upon reasonable inspection is clear and obvious.
Yeah, but if it's latent, those are things that you may not be able to see, and sometimes the seller may not know about them, but if they do, they should be disclosing that on the residential property disclosure.
Right.
So things like mold, if you have mold, and there are
Sometimes it's visible, but sometimes it's not.
Right, and sometimes it might be behind the walls, and if you've had a plumbing leak that you don't disclose and it's later found that there's mold in the walls, that could fall on the seller.
Yeah.
So, you just want to make sure that anything that you know about that happened to your home you want to disclose, and buyer beware. There's things that you should be looking at too when you go through a home.
One of the things that I always point out to buyers is finished basements. You have finished basements where the walls are covered, no matter what kind of inspection you have, no one can tell you what's happening behind those coverings, paneling, drywall, whatever it is. So if there's a crack in that foundation, that would be a latent defect because you can't see it. There's no way, no matter how good you inspect, you're not going to see that defect.
Exactly. And I mean, there's a lot of people that don't go maybe up into the attic. Unless you're up there storing things, you may not be up there, but we find, attic where there's maybe mold in the attic or pest inspection stuff, like if there's termite damage, that unless you're living in the home and actually occupying and going into those spaces, you may not even be aware.
Yeah.
But if you are, you need to disclose.
Right. Absolutely. The mold is a good point because we see that often and it's so much more common than you think. It could be due to the bath fan venting up into your attic space. And again, if you're not storing stuff up there and you're not up there all that time, it's very possible that you may not know that that's occurring.
Yep. And a lot of times I think some people don't know that, when you think of mold, a lot of times people think of this dark colored stuff and many times it's white.
Yeah.
So the point is, there are different patent and latent defects we talk about.
Right.
And when you put an offer in on a home, the seller is disclosing to you, or supposed to be disclosing to you, what they know about. And so they're not, if you can physically see that there's a crack in the basement wall, then it's there. They don't have to say there's a crack in the basement wall.
Because you can see it, exactly.
But if they filled a crack in the basement wall that was leaking water...
And then paneled over it.
They should disclose that.
That should be disclosed.
Even if they fixed a crack in the wall, I mean, you can see that it was fixed, but if you were getting water prior to that as a seller and you don't disclose that, and I think it's within the last 5 years, that can be an issue too. So we're just saying that it's really important to disclose.
Yes.
Anything that you think.
Right. And here's what I always tell buyers and sellers that I work with. Disclose everything that you know because people can deal with what they know. It's when things come up that are unexpected or after the fact that they find out that they should have known prior. That's when the issues come up.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, better to disclose up front. And if you think you would want to know about it, when you're listing your home, would I want to know about this as a buyer?
Yeah.
Then you should put it down.
Right.
So,
and as buyers, you're doing your home inspection to make sure that you know as much about the home that you're purchasing as possible. So when you're doing your initial walkthrough, pay attention to those things. Look for things that are concerning to you so you can point those out to your inspector when you're in the home inspecting.
Absolutely. Yeah, electrical is another one. And many times we go through with electrical and there's no way for us to know unless we're literally plugging things into the plugs and such to know. Is there reverse polarity? Is there, you know, are they grounded or ungrounded? Those things are something that the inspector would check for too. And again, things that the seller may not be aware of
Exactly.
that there's an issue with. So those would be latent defects. You wouldn't know about them.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, if you ever have questions about things, we'll try and help.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate you tuning in today.
We do. We're there to hold your hand and guide you through that inspection as well.
That's right. All right. Very good. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.